Yo, hey Maria.
Hey!
I'm screaming because I was just on IG and my phone isn't good. So I'm like, hi everybody. Um, this is gonna be a fun one tonight. I'm looking really forward. Last night's episode I thought was like really good for my favorite episode in a long time.
You know what? I think as a whole it was good. It wasn't like excessively dramatic. There was just like little tastes of it here and there. But it was good storytelling, so yay.
This is gonna be a fun one, I promise. Okay, so let me say hi to everybody. Patty S, hello, Ruth Ann, Maria W, Barbie, Donnell, Ellie, Sheila, Christina B, Digital Pen, Brooklyn's World, Holistic, Keela Bila, LaDonna. All right, that was a quick one. maybe I'm starting like a little too on time late. I don't know. Like usually, I make you guys wait.
Yeah, and you have a shorter intro right now since you don't have your intro fully revamped.
No, I have my intro. I kind of have it back.
Okay.
It's still not like 100%, but we have it. We're gonna test run like the new music I have for it. Hey Rita, hey Criddle. So we're gonna do that. Gina, what's up? Kind of want to wait like a few more minutes before I play so the room would load because I don't want to have to I don't want you guys to miss all our good content. How was your day, Maria?
It was sweaty.
It was like a little warmer here today. Like once fall hit, it dropped 20 degrees. It was like in the 40s last night, and now it's a little bit warmer. So
yeah, that's not been my experience. It was in the 90s today, and what happened today? Ooh, countertop people showed up, so that was nice. They hooked up the fiber, so that was nice. But yeah, I was over there for longer than I should have been, and I got sweaty.
And just for you, Rita, I'm going to give you a little treat.
Yes.
Just for you.
Teeny tiny shots. You give yourself every.
That's for you.
Teeny tiny shots. You give yourself.
Oh my God, I played that to death on Saturday night.
But it was hilarious because you weren't on the screen.
I wasn't.
That kept popping up.
I was like, how can I screw people? And I just kept playing like weird things. Hey, Stacy. So let's just get into it. I'm going to start the new intro, which is
teeny tiny shots.
No, I'm just saying. That's not it. Although I kind of wanted in the new intro. I'm not going to lie.
Teeny tiny shots.
Okay, that's the last time, I promise. So here we go. Let's get into it. Let's see if this works.
It's too short.
Well, we're fine tuning it. Like you can't hear Margaret's voice on it. It's because like that stupid music in my original one, for some reason now it's copyrighted. I don't know why. Came from music you could use for everybody. Mm-hmm. So it's a work in progress. So let's get into it. Okay, so where are we going to start tonight? Last night was fun. I don't know. I kind of want to start with Jenny and Sumit because the show was pretty much about them. Hey Addie, hey Ashley Nicole. So let's get into it. Get back to the page.
So they're still on their honeymoon, and we've left off where they had sort of discussed the jobs the night before. But it seems like it's a new morning because the first thing that they bring up is that the headboard.
The headboard was banging against the wall, like no joke. And good to know that Jenny still got it in her.
Good to know. Yes.
And then he wants to go bungee jumping and or cliff diving and or zip lining. And Jenny's like, I'm 63 and I want to be able to see 64.
I mean, I can understand that, but then he's like, "Hey, you married a younger dude, right? You got to try to keep up at least a little bit."
And to Jenny's credit, I have to, I was totally impressed that she actually went ahead and did the zip line, because I mean, I would love to do a zip line, and I've done my share of bungee jumping in my 20s when you're supposed to be fearless. I wouldn't do it now. I wouldn't hook myself up to the bungee thing again and do it. No, oh hell no. Would you, Maria?
I wonder if it would give me back relief to be just flung around like that. Would it help or would it hurt? I don't know.
Hey, Paula. Hey, Melby. But when Jenny got up there, I was ziplining, and then that was like a voyage. I mean, that wasn't just a little no, she went across the river. It was super high. You were going into the woods.
Yeah.
So
she was afraid that she was going to stop in the middle and that she'd have to be rescued by a boat.
A girl trip. That's what I was thinking. Who saw Girl Trip when Jada Pinkett got stuck in the middle of the zip line and she went up peeing on everybody? That's what I could have totally seen happening with Jenny, and then she was gonna have to have Tiffany Haddish, come and bump her out and push her through. Not that Tiffany Haddish is making good news headlines right now, but that's what I'm thinking. Did you hear about Tiffany Haddish?
I mean, it seems like she was up to some really inappropriate stuff, like somebody young underage. Was she?
Yeah, they
trafficking. What was she doing?
Her and the guy from Mad TV, I can't remember his name, did a little spoof about children and handsy uncles, and it was just in very poor taste.
Oh, okay. They made it sound much worse than just in poor taste.
Oh no, I'm I don't want to get in trouble on YouTube, but that's how.
Yes.
I'm putting it lightly. But yeah, not the best look for her right now. But that was my thought. Ari Spears, yes, Criddle, you got it. But that's what I was thinking, and I could totally see Jenny being stuck there, and I could understand her being scared for it.
Yeah.
So she gets up there on the pitch. I don't know.
Sure, that's a good name. Let's call it the pitch.
And she goes, I can't do it. What's his name? Sumit steps up and he goes across, and it's fun. And she's like, all right, now I gotta do it. 'Cause now he's on the other side of the river. How are they gonna meet up again? Now she has to kind of do it, because he's all the way across town. And
she just needed to see somebody do it and make sure it looked fun and didn't look too fast or whatever. As soon as she did it, she's like, okay, that does look fun. I'm not as scared as I was a second ago. I'm ready. It was pretty cool.
And he's like, just scream, when you go. And she went, and that was one of my favorite scenes probably from the show ever. Just her going across and her screaming and her laughing. I really, 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 really love that.
I mean, I just love how when Sumit looks at her, he's always got the biggest smile on his face. So when she was up there looking scared, he still had a big smile on his face. He's like, I'm scared too. It was just, the whole thing was cute. When she gets down to the other end, another
when
big grin on his face.
He's like, break. She's about to take the whole town out. It reminded me of Melissa McCarthy in Tammy when she's on the water, the water ski, the jet ski.
Oh, okay.
And he's coming in hot because he's like, break. Jenny's just coming in full throttle, just about to wipe everybody out on the other side of the platform.
Well, I think breaking is just your hand, right? That's why they have that glove on. It's just grabbing.
Is that how you? I've never zip lined, so I have no idea. Is that how you slow yourself down?
Yeah. It was. That's why they had the leather gloves. So they were just. So when they said break, you could see her kind of grab it a little tighter.
Yeah, I was proud of her too. I never thought in a million years she was ever going to do it, and I had to give her a little applause for doing that. And she had fun doing it.
She did. And she was ready. She was ready for more adventure, right? But just a little bit more.
So, Sumit now is like, well, listen, I got her to do this. So let me broach this next subject up. And Sumit's like, hey, Jenny, are you familiar with the Kama Sutra?
And she's like, yes. Why?
And then she goes, I already know everything I need to know because of my age. And, to Jenny's credit, probably.
Probably.
But Sumit, he wants to, experiment with her. And, Jenny's like, listen, bro, like I give you missionary and missionary and missionary and missionary.
She might do reverse cowboy every once in a great while.
Then I'm on top. And missionary. And more missionary. And then maybe
man.
like on like Christmas, some doggy. So
Sure.
poor Jenny, she probably has like osteoporosis. You really have to be careful with.
Yeah, I don't see her doing the wheelbarrow anytime soon. But, I think sometimes these things look like more fun than they actually are. And you know what? By the time you're 63, you know which positions get you where you need to get you,
Missionary and missionary and missionary.
I mean, I'm not going to complain about missionary. It's nice on my wrists. I don't have to hold myself up.
Oh, no, there's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to spice things up. I feel like Jenny is like, and I hate that I had to envision this in my head, but, she's probably like, has a routine, I would say.
Yes. She told him exactly where she wants him to put his hands and his whatevers, and he better do it. She knows what she wants, I'm sure. That's the topic, Barbie. It's the topic.
And wait, doesn't want to. Oh, so then she also doesn't want to take. I guess there's a yoga class that goes along with this
to learn some yoga tricks, some yoga Kama Sutra. Yeah, she doesn't want to be taught. She doesn't want to be instructed in a class about how to have sex.
And again, she's 60, almost 4, and she's got sex down. Missionary and some more missionary and some more missionary, and then listen, maybe like on like a Thursday, I'll be on top.
Stacy, I don't want to know the answer.
Hey, Jay Frequentland, thanks. We were lucky because we live in central Newfoundland. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about oh Lord, Stacy.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a vision that like I wasn't even thinking about.
We don't need those pictures drawn in our mind. The wheelbarrow was more than enough.
Yeah, I think Maria delivered with the wheelbarrow. Did you say reverse cowgirl?
I did.
Maybe. Okay, so I think that's enough.
I don't feel like that gets you where you want it to get you. But that's just me.
And like I keep waiting for like Sumit to be like, let's try tantric, and I'll wait for like Jenny's head to explode.
Yeah, because I think tantric involves a lot of like holding positions for a long time.
I think it's just a lot of holding if you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Sure.
Like you don't like, release.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of work, man. Like that's beyond a firm core. It's like doing, what do you call those, planks, but different.
And Jenny's like, listen, like, it's 4:00 in the afternoon. It's time for dinner. I can't hold this. I can't hold this all day long. I gotta go. I'm ready for like, my early bird prefix dinner over at.
He said, "Can we just make love and then go to sleep?" Because that's all she wants from the situation.
Like, in Jenny's eyes, it's like, Sumit, it's like 7 p.m. Like Wheel of Fortune's on, and then we go to bed. So, I mean, like, what more do you want from me?
Serious. Apparently, a whole bunch of stuff. Let's explore the Kama Sutra together on our honeymoon vacation. I mean, it's a good time to explore it, but it sounds like she's looked at it before, and she knows that some of these are just a no-go for her. No.
You're not, maybe, I know I'm not as limber as I was in my 20s. As I was saying, like, I think Fryer said, like, I used to be able to do back bends. Can't do those no more.
Have you tried?
I don't need to, like, compress vertebrae, so I'm just,
okay.
I'm erring on the side of caution right now with that. But, back in my 20s, no, never mind. I won't even go there. Don't need that on Reddit. So we'll just leave that one alone.
You were flexible.
Very
Okay.
flexible. We got Jenny and Debbie doing same things we can. That's also true. Oh, Single Life is on tonight. Is it on right now? Or is it on at 8?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't have a TV.
Well, we'll be covering that and my burned corneas on Wednesday when we do the Single Life, because that was a lot to take in from Debbie.
You know
Who
what?
would you rather watch get it on, Debbie or Jenny?
Why do I have to watch either one of them? I would like them
we're
to both
forced
be,
to, and now I have to ask the hard questions. So
I would like them to both be very happy in their sexual relationships, whatever they may be. I do feel like Debbie would be more down to get into the Kama Sutra yoga. She seems like
I
she
would have
be,
to agree with you on that one. She broke out the Austin Power go-go boots,
Yes.
and I think Debbie's more adept to
Yeah. She'll
try new things out.
smack
And
it up, rub it. What is it? Smack it up, rub it, flip it down. No, that's not right. Smack it up, flip it, rub it down. Oh no, that's what it is. Do me,
What an
baby.
injustice you're doing to everybody right now. Yeah, and then like the last thing that comes up with like their last talking point was that Jenny brings up the fact that now that they're married, she can bring him over to the United States on like the spousal visa, and pretty much Sumit's like, well, I already lost my family. Now you want me to move to America? I will, that'll be like the like as Kathy Hilton would say, the toe that broke the camel's back. What say you on that, Maria? About Jenny kind of throwing this on him, and you would think that they probably talked about this. I mean, they've been together for 10 years, right? On and off and whatever.
Yeah, they have, but like, Jenny feels like this is the first time that we can maybe sling off your parents and the way that they control your life, right? They've left the situation. Now maybe we can just be free of that and do what we might both want and, come to America. I like the way that she approached it, but, realistically, he's not ready for that. And he even said it, well, he kind of soft noted, right? He's like, well, we'll see. There's a lot that goes into that. We'll see. And, also my parents, right? And Jenny's like, you're always, what is it? Basically, you're always prioritizing your parents even now. And it's hard not to see it that way. I understand why she felt that way. But it's his culture, right?
I don't think Sumit, and I kind of like Sumit for this reason because, out of all the people, and especially with the people with the giant age differences, Sumit never really wanted to come here. He wanted to be in India. He never wanted to leave. And I can respect him a whole lot for that. Even like when there's like not an age difference, there's that thought always in the back of your head saying like, is this person just using this person, to gain entry to the United States? And, I respect Sumit a whole lot more because he's with somebody 31 years older than him. And he doesn't want to come here. He wants to be in India and he wants to be in love with Jenny. So
he does. But I think like Barbie is right and Perfectly Imperfect are right. That just make it a visit, make it a holiday. Yeah, see if he likes it. Don't put that pressure on.
Fine. I mean, yeah, I agree. Like, he's never been here, so come for a week, come for a couple of weeks, see what you think of it.
Yeah.
Before, I don't think that he could ever leave his family. I just don't.
I don't either. And I think him and his friend want to start whatever their food business is. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I think he might actually want to do that. I don't think that's just, I have to so that we can survive. I think he wants to do something. He's ready to be, a functional member of society. So,
and good for him. Again, another reason why I respect him. Like, in how it appears to me, like, Jenny's like, we just got married, and I feel like Jenny's saying, I'm going to take care of you. It's just she doesn't want him to work at all, zero. And she wants to retire, as she should want to retire because she's at that age. But then she married someone 30 years her junior. So is he supposed to just, get ready to play shuffleboard for the rest of his life? And, but again, Sumit knew that Jenny was at retirement age. So
Right.
I don't know.
Right. They love each other, but also there's definitely a divide there in terms of where they are in life. I mean, they'll figure it out. They always figure it out. They figured out much more difficult things than this, but I don't think realistically Sumit is going to move to the States at this point.
No, I don't either. But Jenny's always had an issue with like her being alone, like when Sumit would have to go to the parents' house for a few days. And again, if I were Jenny, I wouldn't want to be alone in India, because you're there for him, and especially when he had the other wife that Jenny didn't know about. Like, what a mess! The whole thing.
Yeah. Ooh, I remember that. You could feel that one right through the screen. Oh.
I mean, Jenny always brings it. I have to say, hey, Paula, Jenny wants to live the rest of her days. And again, there's nothing wrong with that, but do you expect somebody who's like, 33 to like, just be like, and good for Sumit for wanting to work and like provide. And he, not only does he want to work, he wants to start a business, work 6 days a week. And because he wants to like have good, nice things and, just not live like mediocrely. Is that a word? Mediocrely?
Let's say it
is now. If it's not, it is now.
Yeah, but 6 days a week is a lot, especially when he's been with her for, I mean, I don't know how long. It feels like a year, of just being by her side. So that's going to be a huge shift. If he was working in the States, she would have her daughter nearby and, it would probably be easier on her.
She does need him there 24/7. I can't fault Jenny for that and I can't fault Sumit. It's just like, so I guess we'll see how this plays out. I have a feeling that, we're not going to see them go anywhere. I actually kind of hope they're on the other way, even though I can't stand watching the other way, just to be honest. That's like torture. It's like watching Darcy and Stacey. I hate watching the other way. I'm sorry. But it'll be starting shortly, I guess. So we'll see.
Have they announced the other way already? Or are you just expecting? Oh, I don't know. Have they?
The other way's not going anywhere. I know that much. They're going to keep that going. So we'll see. But, we're only on episode 4?
5.
This was 5 this week? Okay, so we're getting there. But I have been enjoying their segments, and we'll see where it goes.
Absolutely.
Anything else with Jenny and Sumit?
I mean, they had that religious ceremony by the river Ganges where they put their flower boat in the water, and that was kind of nice.
I must have missed that part. Go ahead.
Oh, it was nice. There was candles, and then they had like little boats with candles in them that were flower boats, and they put them in the water, and they were kind of like making sort of a wish, I guess. And Jenny wished basically to not have the struggles with his parents anymore and to be accepted. And then the boat immediately crashed and fell apart.
Wait, did it really crash?
Yeah, and then it just kind of fell apart. It was lit. The candle was lit and it went out. I mean, yeah, it was hilarious. And she even said it. She's like, this is the way my life is here. This is the life that I have.
Where was I missed that whole part. What happened to me? I have nothing written down about that. Okay, I didn't see that part. So that's funny. All right, so, and that is Jenny's luck. Wait, that's Beverly Hills notes. Hold on, I'm looking at Dorit and Kyle. Wait, there we are. All right, so where should we go to next? Let's do Kim and Usman.
I don't know. This movie frustrated me.
To talk about these two. All right, let's.
So Kim is mad about the sister-wife situation.
Oh, no, because Kim is mad. Period.
Well, to hear her explain it, because this is her second trip to Nigeria and her third trip seeing Usman, right? So it sounds the way that she's playing it is that he has misled her about the sister wife situation and that she's bending over backwards to accommodate him, but she doesn't understand and wants to understand him when she's asking
I don't believe one word of that. I'm sorry, which I've said over and over again. You're on TLC. No, there's no way you don't understand how a sister wife works. I'm sorry, I don't buy it. Not for 1 second.
Yeah. Yeah, and particularly it's the equal love part that hits her a certain way. You love them all? Unbelievable, unacceptable.
So,
Yeah.
and again, like if Kim's rational, right? So in her head, she's gonna be like the first wife that provides no fruit right? Like, no offspring. But Usman's gonna love you the most when you're a stone's throw away from death. And it might be like slight hyperbole there.
Right.
But when you're like, listen, that was some light flourish. But when you're like stone's throw away, and he's not gonna love the second wife who actually bears him children. He's gonna be like, oh, you're just a baby making machine. And I want to say that Kim's rational enough to know better than that, and I can't.
She's not
the other way on that.
She's not. Yeah, she's being irrational because, of course, he's going to interact with the mother of his children and his children. They aren't just a thing to have and then be the mom's problem and never to be interacted with. No, he's going to care about his children when he has the children. So yeah,
and he's going to care about the mother who gave them said children. Like, so he's getting the children from the mom, but according, in Kim's books, oh, well, she doesn't get love. I'm the only one that gets love. I just,
yeah,
go on.
Yeah, and she feels misled, but of course, first she throws her little hissy fit and she's like, "Don't touch me, I want to be alone," and she sits on a bench and cries, and her eyes get all black and weird. She's feeling disregarded. I don't know why I wrote that. Okay.
Blah 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 blah.
Oh, okay, but then it starts to get good because she finally goes up to the hotel room, right, where Usman has taken off his dirty milkshake shirt, and he is kind of not really here for this at this point. He doesn't like her behavior, and she says, "I didn't come here to be this unhappy." And he's like, "Listen, if this isn't going to work for you and me, let's just stop. Let's just."
When has it ever worked? The only time that they had smiles on their face was when she gave him the MacBook and the PS5 and that gaudy jewelry. Like, let's not kid. Like, that's the only time we saw them smile. And then let's not forget, Kim said, "Well, if you don't fuck me right now, mister, I'm taking everything away."
So, I mean, she kind of says that again in this episode. Not that I'm not taking everything away, but she's been there for 2 days and somehow he still hasn't given up the yammy. Like, what are you guys doing?
Well, the African ingredient, the fertilizer, was it the yammy?
Yeah, she hasn't gotten any yammy. So what's going on? Why isn't he hooking her up with some yammy?
Well, even if like, let's say Cody wanted to have like, sister wives, right? I'm the first wife. I would still be like, I would know that like if he's getting kids from them, that they're good, he's going to love those kids and the mother of the kids that he gave them to. How could Kim not think that? I can't wrap my head around that. I can't. It's ridiculous. Yeah. He's going to love some fan, then a super fan, then not a super fan, then a friend, then a friend with benefits, then a potential girlfriend. Do you hear this? Like, these are all her titles that she gives herself. Now, potential fiance, potential sister wife.
Yeah. And Usman clearly wants her to behave. And he also, he might mislead her on some level because he might tell her what she wants to hear a little bit, right? Just to get her to have a good time because he wants to have a good time. But he also says things like, if we love each other, we'll find a way to make it work. But what does that even mean? That means, Kim, behave yourself and get okay with the sister wife that I'm going to legitimately be involved in. So for her, it feels like she's got to bend over backwards. But for him, he's like, no, I'm the one bending over backwards to have you, old lady, as my wife. I don't know. They're ridiculous collectively.
There's no way that he needs Kim in any regard. I mean, he can't come here, according to Lisa. It's just to keep him on TV so he could be like, musical sensation, which he wants to be, like a global, he wants to be like the next Michael Jackson. And it's just like, God, Kim, like, you just have no self-respect at all. 0.000 self-respect. Like 0.000 self-respect. How could you put yourself on TV like that? Like, I just.
I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you, because to me, if she's feeling this disrespected and disregarded, and she has to behave a certain way just for him to even, give her the time of day, this is not it. It's not it. Shouldn't you want better than that for yourself? You shouldn't have to jump through this many hoops.
Oh, I don't want you to see that side of me throwing the milkshake, except the last time I did it when I threw the water. Like, what? Oh my God.
I'm never going to do that again. She's turned over a new leaf.
It's like infuriating. I've
never thrown a drink on anyone. I don't know. Am I the weird one? I don't know. And it's water and a milkshake. It's not like she's inebriated. You know what I mean? Like, you can understand when alcohol is involved that your emotions might be higher and you throw drinks on each other. But this is a milkshake and water.
And like his friend, who had like the second wife, kind of explained it, which we talked about last week. But
I mean, it was part of this week too. Yeah, he explained it, but that's what made her mad. Because it was like, to her, this is a different relationship. The way that they're doing it is not the way you said we were going to do it. So,
and how's it going to work? Like, okay, so, Usman's going to be in Nigeria with, his second and possibly third, fourth, fifth wife. And
yeah, he said that.
Be in the same town. So, like, but are you going to be in San Diego? Because then that might work for you. Because then you don't have to see anything of it. You don't have to see any of it.
Yeah, I think she is going to be in San Diego.
But she can't have that. You know how she would be if she was in San Diego and Usman has like number 2, 3, 4 wife. She wouldn't be able to like sleep at night.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if he kept it off the social media, then she'd be able to pretend that everything was okay. But he would never do that. He would put it on social media, and then he would make her feel bad for being jealous.
He's not going to take his babies to a concert or his second wife. They're not going to be like at events with him, and because those are his wives, and it's legal there. So why shouldn't he bring his second wife to, why shouldn't Cody Brown take Janelle to an event? That's his wife, right?
Absolutely.
Why should he take Christine or Robin? It's the same goddamn thing. Yep. Sorry, I'm mad because I get heated over this because she's so ridiculous that I can't. That's why I kind of wanted to start with Jenny, because it was like comical, and now
this is comical in a different way.
In an infuriating way, this is comical. This is how this is funny. She wishes she was 30 years younger. Well,
you're not.
And as we discussed Friday on the block party, Kim has a penchant for going after people that are unattainable, like her second marriage or her first marriage to the guy who murdered 2 policemen. Because she saw him on TV and she's like, oh, you know what? That's something I need to latch on to. What is wrong with you?
Well, I mean, even like the beginning of the relationship, how she approached the whole thing was that she was winning something. So getting these unattainable men is a win in her mind. But who is she in competition with? I don't understand the game she's playing. What's the game? How are you winning it?
I guess she's winning.
She's winning. Hashtag winning.
Just like Charlie Sheen. Maybe she's drinking the tiger blood. I don't know. I just... She, and I defended her so hard, like not her first season on before, and I'm like, it's like the same season again. Like she's throwing the drinks. It's like she's upset. She's older. It's the same storyline that we saw before. The same exact storyline.
Right, but sort of turned up. Right, the stakes have changed. Before it was just, this is just your audition to be my girlfriend. Now this is your audition to be my first wife. So
audition, right? Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's what it is, right?
Because you know why? Because I guess local talent there in the area can't give him MacBooks and PS5s and Long Island license plates across his neck. So he needs. I guess the first wife needs to be the moneymaker.
Yep. It's hard because there's definitely something likable about her, but her
Yes, there
behavior.
was, and I found I did like and like despite what people think, she's so much like Lisa. They kind of have almost the same exact personality.
Oh,
You don't think so? You don't think that her and baby girl Lisa?
I don't know, Lisa. At first, I would say Lisa seems a little smarter, but she also seems rougher around the edges. So I don't know. So maybe it's just I don't know.
I see. So
Lisa doesn't seem naive. I guess Lisa doesn't seem naive to me the same way that Kim does. No?
I would have to think anybody would, they have like almost the same age difference. I would think anybody who would be, and I love baby girl Lisa and no shade to her, stupid enough to literally get in bed with this guy when is an idiot. Like, I'm sorry. Like, and I love baby girl Lisa. I just, how, nope. Whatever I say next will get me in trouble.
I like the way Susie B said it. I think Lisa's more brusque. I think she's more brusque too. I don't know.
And Kim's more brusque?
I think Kim's fake brusque. Like she's trying to be powerful and come off as like, I'm a boss bitch, but she isn't really, right? That's what the throwing the water and the milkshake is all about, is trying to have any kind of power or control when she has none. Where, yeah, to me, it's playing. She's not really it. Where I think Lisa was the real deal.
And I also think that Kim is trying to like kind of mimic Angela a little bit, because Angela threw like the drink in Michael's face, and Usman said point blank, we're going to be the new Angela and Michael. So there goes Kim having to follow suit and pull like Angela moves,
Yeah.
I don't know. And again, I still can't figure out how they're on Happily. They were on one season of Before, and now they're on Happily Ever After. Who gets on Happily Ever After as a potential girlfriend? I'll wait. How does that happen?
I don't know, but I did wonder. I mean, I haven't gone back and looked it up, but I did want to look up what was it, Nicole and Asin? Like they were on so many seasons and it went nowhere. Were they ever on Happily Ever After?
Yeah, no, Nicole and Asin were on Happily. I think at least one season they were on Happily. I think I interviewed her back in 2019 and they were on Happily. That's when she was like in the trailer and like production was there and like she like climbed out the bathroom window to get away from everybody. Do you remember that? Do you remember?
Yeah, and then her brother answered the door like, she's not here.
Production's like, where's Nicole? And they're like, she's gone. A la like the Truman Show when he finally figures out like, that his life is being filmed. Yeah, Nicole was definitely on Happily.
So there you go.
But Nicole was already like on the show for like a bit when they were on Happily. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true.
And it was a bit of a joke. Like, we just watched Before earlier in the year, and now all of a sudden they're on Happily Ever After. So,
ooh, and I forgot with Nicole, they also like the wedding was planned. It was like the day of the wedding, and then it all fell apart for a weird makeup store lie. So
yeah, like the $55,000. How much was it? Like, and then like they decided to like take that wedding money and like open up like the beauty shop, right?
Right, that was the story. Yeah. Even though there never was a makeup shop.
So
they just weren't ready.
I don't know. I just don't know how they're on Happily, at all. And I'm just, and like I could see her. I don't know. I'm gonna lay off because it's gonna get worse. Whatever comes out of my mouth next. So she wishes she was 30 years younger. He's bringing another. Oh, so then Usman says, in the confessional, well, I'm bringing another white older lady to my family.
Yeah. Well, he is.
And that went over so well the first time. Like, none of this makes sense.
He acknowledged that too. He's like, this is going to be, yeah, they're not going to like her. So I think that's what he said. They're not going to like her.
And didn't Lisa have to buy his mom like a goat or something? Right?
Yeah.
Was it a goat?
Yeah, I think it was a goat. Yeah.
I know that David had to buy Annie's family a water buffalo, right? And Lisa had to buy his mom a goat. So I hope that Kim comes with with a whole like flock.
Listen, Kim would definitely come with a flock if she gets engaged, right? But at this point, they're not engaged, so I think it's premature for her to bring the goat. But she wants to outdo Lisa, for sure.
And Angela. So anything else with Kim and Usman? That was a fun one.
Let's call them good.
All right. All right. Where do we go next? Let's see.
Liz and Ed?
Yeah, let's do them because they were kind of funny. Let's balance the good and the bad on this one because I was going to say Jovi and Yara, but I'm going to get mad again. So let's go to Liz and Ed because they were fun this week. Okay, Ed and Liz. So, I guess Liz. I wrote stripper training with Alex.
Oh, I wrote booty popping workout with Alex.
Well, I don't know what. Here we go. Look. Stripper training with Alex. That was my first line. And she's still mad about the photo shoot. And Alex still looks like Ashley to me. Like, tell me that girl, if you look fast, does not look Ashley. The same hair. Like, it just, I cannot get, like, I'm like, every time I see her, I see Ashley. So Liz is saying that he doesn't want me to grow or succeed. And he knows that I don't need him. Then he brings up old photos, like I guess, like, and saying, "Hey, why don't you try and get back to that size?" And like coming from Ed.
Yeah. Coming from Ed, unacceptable. You know what? Yeah. Shut up. But then he'll only give her free time where he's not questioning what she's doing. If she's going to work out, presumably, so that she can look more like she did when she was thinner. Even though she got
in his 50s, 51, 52.
56.
She is 29. What is he should kiss the ground she walks on. He needs like the rose bearers from like Coming to America. Every time that Liz walks, there should be rose bearers with the rose petals like on the floor. That's how much he should like love Liz. Like, what is he doing?
Well, I think sometimes when a guy knows that he is not at the same physical level as a girl, he will knock her down, right? He will say mean things to her so that she feels insecure.
Plenty of times.
Yeah. And that's why she stays with him, right? It's because now in his mind, she believes the lies that he's telling her. So now they're at the same level. This is the only man she could get, right? That's what those type of men do. It's not nice.
I'm still having a hard time wrapping my head around watching two Americans on this show. Like, it's still like not right to me. Right? Like, is it bother anybody else? Like, it bothers me.
I get that
he was on before. I get that he was with Rose. I get that he was on The Single Life. I get that, but like, still, you're two people from San Diego. Like it's hard for me to like, kind of like.
It's true, but I would say because of the age gap, it does feel like it works on the show a little bit better because you're dealing with sort of that issue, which happens a lot on the show. So, I mean, I guess I can see why they're doing it still.
And this was a fun part. Okay, so, and like, I don't know, like, and if I were Liz, okay, this is gonna come off really mean, but you know me. If I were Liz, when he said that to me, and like, oh, look at you in this picture when you were 30 pounds lighter, I would say to him, oh my God, look at you in this picture when you had a neck. Like, I would not, like, I'm sorry. Like, that is like 29 and 56. So we have like another Jenny and Sumit thing going on here. And like, he should kiss the ground she walks on. And he's dismissive and, with the photo shoot. And
Yeah. He is dismissive. Even what he said about the photo shoot, he said, that she's still mad, that she's being a baby sissy wah wah. Who calls
I wrote
their
that down
fiance
verbatim.
a baby sissy wah wah? That's not nice.
And who says sissy anymore? That's like a dig at like gay people, because I've been called a sissy as a kid. So I'm like, I didn't really like that. Sissy is like a red flag word for me. So I can't even believe like they put that on the show, because sissy has a very bad gay connotation to it, and maybe that might be why I'm so mad at like.
I mean, I think it does. I think that is the way that he meant it. Is the way that you would mean sissy in that. Talking about.
A sissy is like a little. I know what a sissy is. I've been called it, and it's not fun. So.
Yeah, I called my sister. My sister was called sissy for a long time because she was my sister. That was just the way you did it when you were little.
Well, that's different. A sissy,
yeah, that's a different kind of sissy. Yeah,
a
different
sissy
kind.
wah wah is like, I don't know. I didn't like it. And I said, this is going to be a fun one. Okay, maybe. And I said I was going to give Ed another chance this season. And I think I've been pretty good with it. But whatever. So what did I write here? The gym is the only time, like you said, he doesn't check in. And then we see Ed cleaning dog shit in the house, which, I love seeing dog shit on a wee-wee pad, I guess,
Yeah.
Did we really have to see that? Like, is that footage?
We didn't. Maybe they just like seeing Ed clean it up. Maybe this was just more about making Ed do it.
They're being a baby sissy wah wah. Engagement, investment. What did I write? Oh, they're having an engagement party.
Yes.
And his sister and mother, not his sister, sissy. His daughter and mom are giving him the cold shoulder. So he keeps calling them and no answer. What do you expect?
Yep. He just keeps leaving messages. His therapist says just
1 second.
Oh, okay. The therapist just says to keep leaving messages saying that you love them and inviting them to the engagement party. So it's an unknown whether they'll go, but he keeps on trying. And they're kind of giving him a nice edit when it comes to that kind of stuff so far. Ooh. So far. We'll see how it goes. I feel like they'll probably show up to the engagement party. Otherwise, what are we building to here? Because I can only watch the dysfunction of their relationship for so long. We will see. We will see. I don't want to move on yet, though, because I know that John is going to want to talk about the date night for sure. And the role playing. Let's see. I really think he hurt his mom. He probably did. He doesn't seem like the most considerate person. I mean, I do think he loves his mother very much, and that's an important relationship to him. But, man, he puts himself first a lot. So that's a hard one. It's a hard one. You fast forward through them. Alas, I do not fast forward through anybody because we have to discuss them.
Sorry about that. Someone at my door. Sorry. Okay.
So, I knew you wanted to talk about date night, so
that was actually like the one scene I actually enjoyed, because they go into this thing about how they role play. And I'm like, oh God, here we go. And I hate the fact that despite everything I just said about them or him, I actually was laughing my ass off at the date night. I thought that them sitting down, it reminded me of like Modern Family when Claire and Phil would go out as Clive and Juliana.
Yeah.
And I thought that was cute. And him, like her sitting down and then him walking up, like, one pickup line after pickup, she's like, no, try again. And he'd walk off and then he'd come back. Nope, try again. I actually thought that was like really cute. And I hate that I laughed at it.
I mean, it was kind of funny. I don't know. But he's like, I know I'm going to bag you at the end of the night, so it doesn't really matter. But it was like, I don't know. I kind of hated it. I don't know. I mean,
good.
She did pick the best of his pickup lines was the one that finally, because that was the one that made her laugh. So she let him sit down. But
I didn't mind it at all. Hey, Maggie. Isn't something when a vertically challenged obese man and Maggie's going in, I love it. Isn't it something when a vertically challenged obese man asks his slim girlfriend if she wanted to be slimmer like she used to be? Listen, I don't know where the people on this show get their this unearned confidence from. I would love to know it. Like when they wake up in the morning, when they don't, like I would. Is there a class that someone teaches? Because like I would like to take it if that's the case.
Yeah, it's those people in their DMs, those reality diggers, as Larissa liked to call them back in the day.
I was just gonna say Colt. Like, look at Colt.
Yep.
Look at all like the horrible things Colt did and said and on TV, and we saw him with the red shirt and like this.
Oh, you're being generous. It was more of a like a little thumb. It was like a thumb knuckle.
And the girls, they came a knocking. Like, I just don't get it. Like, and again, to go back to Kim, she literally saw, which we talked about on the block party on Friday, she saw a man get convicted of murdering 2 police officers. And she's like, you know what? Yeah. I need to get in bed with that. Like, what is wrong with these people?
She never got in bed with it, to be fair.
No, I'm just saying, well,
yes,
they never like had sex, but she did marry him.
Yeah. Yeah. And she had power of attorney over all of his stuff. Weird.
And like, look at Vanessa with Colt. I've had True Up, Vanessa was sending Colt Groupon massages, like, while he was still with Larissa. Yeah. And, Jessica, like.
I forgot about Jessica because she was ridiculous as well.
The shoe. I mean, like when she threw the shoes, like that was like probably, that's another one of my top 5 favorite scenes. But like for Colt. And you already knew what you're walking into, going into the house with him and Debbie, and like Debbie pretty much always being against you. And look how long it lasted with Colt, Debbie, and Vanessa. We're watching A Single Life now. They can't stand each other. And Debbie was finally like, oh, he's finally got Vanessa, someone I finally like. And that lasted all of like, what, 3 weeks?
I mean, I don't know. I just think Debbie asks too much and interferes in their relationship. I think that Debbie still likes Vanessa. And
I don't.
You don't think so? She stole her boy. You've stolen him away.
They moved out. Debbie's in the townhouse by herself. She can't afford it. They gave her like, a month's notice or whatever, 3 months. I don't know. But, look at that last scene from last week's The Single Life. Colt walks in like Jesus with the beard. I don't know what Colt's thinking. I
like it compared to clean shaven, short haired Colt. Personally, I mean the neck beard is he could trim it up a little bit, but compared to the other look, I like it.
Every time I see Colt, I still see him in that red shirt and like the.
Yeah.
Like
I swear it was flaccid. Why are you sending flaccid photos? Don't send flaccid photos.
Who wants to see me flaccid? But I don't think it was flaccid. I think that was like, it
didn't look right. It looked flaccid.
I had to have one of my friends draw me a diagram because I couldn't even find it. I'm like, no. Like, I thought that was like a picture. Never mind. That'll get me into trouble too. I was going to shut up. So I thought it was his ass, to be honest with you, and he might have been defecating in that red shirt picture, and
No.
that's why I had to have my friend draw a diagram. I'm like, oh no, Colt's not into like that type of stuff, is he? And they're like, no, that's the front of his body, and I'm like, oh,
He was a bit of a fupa. It's
no,
still
I'm
there.
not talking about the fupa. I'm just talking about like.
Yeah, no, it was a rough photo. It was hard to look at. I mean, I did look at it longer than I should have. Because I was
Everybody
like,
did because they were trying to make sense of it.
right, and you're trying to verify that really is their bathroom, and then I was like, oh, it is.
It
Let me
is
go
their
look.
bathroom.
It was their
And the
bathroom.
girls were like, "Oh my god, that's some hot shit. Let's come and run into it." Like, and that picture got of Jessica, Vanessa, and I used to have I interviewed her too. Oh my god, she lived in Mexico. Remember that interview?
Oh yeah,
When I first started YouTube.
I do.
Beautiful. She was a trainer.
Yeah,
Perfect.
she was beautiful.
Um,
Okay, but
really,
didn't Colt also used to send fapping videos, but they were like from behind, and then there was a beautiful fireplace going on. It was like a whole mood he was setting.
on the bearskin carpet, right? Remember that?
I remember that, but this is before that. These were just his fapping videos that he sent out, I assume, unrequested.
I don't even know how we got to call. I now I'm scared. But yeah, like I just don't see how Ed can really tell Liz to lose weight. Are you kidding me? You lose weight. He's not like slim or healthy.
No. He's got a nicer haircut than he used to have.
Yeah, I'll give him the haircut. I like the cleaner haircut. That's better than the Mayo hair. I'll give him that. But talk about like, I don't know how Liz deals with it. And like, I interviewed Liz last summer when they were broken up, when she had the petition going on to take, Ed down, and we played the audio of all the horrible things that Ed was saying to her, and still she's like,
well, she says that she's changed and he's changed. They've both changed now.
I don't see it. I mean, I don't see him changing.
No, not if he still wants to put her down. He might be more subtle about it, but he's still doing it, right? He's still trying to control what she's doing.
That's for you saying fapping.
Fap, fap, fap. I think I said it like 3 times at least. Do you have a better word? I don't have a better word. That's what it is.
Yeah. I don't even, like, he's also short, right? Like Ed's like, what, like
yes.
5'3"-ish. And he's like,
Yeah, I don't think it's dwarfism, but he's got some sort of
no. He's
congenital.
He's short.
He's not just short.
That thing is like a syndrome. Like that's but by no means is he like a dwarf or a little person or nothing like that. He just has, But I mean, if you want to put like columns, I would have to check off. Never mind. I better shut up.
Right. But yeah, his round body is his own.
Is he really 4'11"?
Oh, well then that would be a form of dwarfism then probably.
No, I think you have to be like, I think that's still considered just short. I honestly, he's not a little person.
He's not a little person in the traditional sense.
No.
But there's an entire, like the number of different types of dwarfism that exist. It's a lot more than what you usually see. But I don't know. He might not be dwarfism. It might not be dwarfism, but he's got something that's making him shorter. I think just like Danny DeVito, right? He's got.
Right. Danny DeVito's like 4'11".
Yeah. But it might be similar because he's got a short neck too. Not quite as much as Ed.
It's just like super short, and then like, once you get like, if you get like 4'1", 4'2", then like that's a different subject area. But, I had a girlfriend, my friend Tanya, she was 4'10". She was not a little person. She was just like on like the extreme short side.
That's real short.
So I don't know. All right, let's move on then before get into trouble if we haven't already. All right, so all right, analyst is done. All right, so we've Libby and Andre.
I think we're on Jovi and Yara in my mind.
You want to do Jovi and Yara? Okay. Oh,
It's a hard one.
Okay. The whole crux of Jovi and Yara's segment this week was, Ukraine was just invaded by Russia. Like, at that time, it was a week ago. Oh wait, just Jenny's notes. Hold on. Switch. Okay. And obviously, Yara should be feeling a certain way about it.
And she is.
And I will not take that away from her. And I don't think anybody should. Like, that's her country. She's only newly here. Everything she knows is in Ukraine. Her friends, her family, and to see her, I couldn't even imagine what it's like to be Yara and to be watching that happen here and not knowing, if your family, if your friends. I mean, that's horrible. And she has every right to feel the way she does.
Absolutely. And she is keeping in touch with as many friends and family as she can. They're messaging her constantly. They're sending her pictures of where they're sleeping, like in the bathroom because they're afraid of getting bombed. And yeah.
It was, they're watching the news and then they show the bathtub that they're in, and she goes and they sleep in, underground at night. Mm-hmm. Horrible, 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 horrible. And I completely understand her wanting to go and not to Ukraine, but Prague or whatever. We'll get there in a second. And be there. And in the beginning of the clips, she's watching the news, and Jovi was kind of being a little short with her. He was
a little bit. I think he wasn't trying to, but I do think he's finding her focus on this to be hard, because she's crying and she's nervous and she's not sleeping. It's taking its toll on his wife.
And I'm sure it's taking a toll on Monica, on their marriage and everything else. I
absolutely.
Lord knows I would not. I don't know. I knock on wood. I've never had to, feel like that. And I can't. All my thoughts with Yara, for her to, it's just horrible, So, so next scene, they're talking about Jovi has to go to work in a few days and he's going to be gone for 3 weeks. Jovi does underground underwater drilling, where he's away.
Right.
He makes really good money doing it, and I love that Jovi still does that. Actually, to be honest with you, and still works and does that work, mm-hmm. And not just rely off the teat of 90 days. So I respect Jovi a whole lot for that. So there's Jovi takes Yara, which I was very impressed with, to his attorney to see if they can get her family here, as refugees or just whatever. And the lawyer says, we can get your immediate family here, your mom, your sister, your brother, that type of here, and we can get them here. He said that Biden is trying to get refugee status for a lot of Ukrainians, but in Yara's case, since she does have she's a green card holder, she has rights and she's able to bring her family, her immediate family,
right
here. But Jovi saying to Yara, and again, I kind of have to. It's hard. Because I don't want people thinking I'm for...
You could tell the whole conversation was hard on Jovi too. It was this is a delicate conversation, but yes. we need to say these things. We need to talk about this stuff.
And yeah. I mean, Jovi had some good points. Even if we get them here, what's going to happen? It's going to take 10 months for them to get any type of paperwork so they can work. I mean, there's the obvious language barrier, and they're in Louisiana. where I'm sure that there's not a big Ukrainian language influx. Like,
There
you
might
know,
be. I don't know. I haven't checked that. I should look.
you should, but like I'm assuming, that there's not like a big
Ukrainian presence.
right in like where they are in Louisiana. So and to Jovi's credit, how fast is the money going to go? And like we're going to be supporting all these people. All valid points to be made.
Yeah, and they're like, we're already outgrowing the apartment that we live in now. Where are we going to put them? These are all logistical questions, but you can understand that Yara is running on emotion, and her emotions aren't wrong either. What Jovi's saying isn't wrong, and neither is what Yara is saying. She said,
absolutely,
if I make enough to buy expensive purses, then I think I can make enough to buy people's freedom. And I can how do you not respect what she's saying? Like, I care about this. I have to do this. I get it, man.
She should, and I would forego the purses too if I were her. I would sell probably everything I had to get them here
to make sure your family and friends are alive and safe. Absolutely.
So like the real crux of the thing is that like Jovi's going to leave in a few days. Yara's green card interview is like a week after he leaves, and then he gets back 2 weeks after that. Now, I don't know. You want to talk for a second, because I'm going to say this the wrong way. I'm going to regret it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I guess Yara she wants to go to Prague, which is in the Czech Republic, to see her mom right away. She does not want to wait. She wants to go now. And Jovi's like, can you wait the 3 weeks so that I can go with you? I just don't feel
what's
safe.
so wrong with that?
There's not a thing wrong with that. Not a thing.
And why is erring on the side of caution wrong? And like, I'm mad a little bit because of some of the comments I got on my post about this. Because, what's wrong with erring on the side of caution? Like, this has been the biggest, military type of occupation war since World War II. People are saying this could possibly turn into World War III. What's wrong with Jovi saying, listen, you're my wife, and like, is Mila a toddler? I don't know how baby things work.
Yeah, she would be a toddler.
My wife and toddler going into a country, and listen, Prague and the Czech Republic might be safe right now, and I know it's a NATO country. Listen, I went to school for 7 years for history, a bachelor's and a master's. So I'm not some idiot blogger who's just like talking out of my ass. I kind of know a few things. Yes, Czech Republic is safe. Yes, Czech is a NATO country. But what is wrong with erring on the side of caution? And listen, if Jovi was telling Yara, listen, I'm going to be gone for 3 months, then I can see Yara saying, well, that's too long. I have to go. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's an extra 2 weeks. What is wrong with that? And if Prague and Czech are so safe, then it shouldn't be an issue for Yara to wait the 2 weeks.
Valid points. Well, here's the other thing is it looked like Yara is running on 100% emotion, and she does not have a plan. And when he asks her, well, what is your plan? She's like, well, I'll stay with my mom for a few days. And then it was kind of a ... Like, she just wants to help. But if she doesn't have a plan for how she's going to do that, then let's take a beat and figure out how you can help. I will also say this was like a week after the war started. We didn't know how big it was going to get. We didn't know what was going on. Belarus was, aligned with Russia.
Right.
They were starting stuff. There was concerns about Moldova also getting attacked. So yes, while the Czech is on the other side of Poland, I looked on a map. So the Czech is on the other side of Poland. And it's about 1,400 miles between Prague and Kyiv. And so that's about the distance between Chicago and Miami. It's a good sized distance, but it's not something that she couldn't find a way through if she wanted to. And you can tell that she is just running on pure emotion. So I can understand why
all the assholes in like the comments, and I want to read a few of them because like it's just so infuriating. Like, yes, like listen, your Czech Republic is safe. It's a NATO country. I get it, but like it's bordering a country that's at a full-scale war with Russia, which Russia is a giant presence, and we don't know what Putin's up to.
No,
You know,
especially that first week.
Did we know what Hitler was going to do when he started taking over? Like you just don't know how things play out. Like, listen, we didn't see Pearl Harbor coming, right or wrong. Like, I'm a New Yorker. New York City wasn't at war when we got bombed on 9/11, so you don't know what the fuck is going to happen. And the fact that they're already at war in Europe doesn't matter if they're NATO or not. You don't know what could happen next. You have no idea. So, and again, why is Jovi's erring on the side of caution for his young wife and toddler a bad thing?
It's not. It's not. And it wasn't like he was saying, no, you can never go there.
So mad. Like,
yeah, he wasn't saying you can never go. He's like, can we wait 3 weeks? I will go with you. That way, when we're making decisions on the fly, I am there to bounce those ideas off of so that we don't do anything crazy. Completely rational. And saying that she's irrational is not misogynist. It's saying that her emotions are very heightened because this is hitting home. Right?
Romanov didn't think they're going to get executed in the Winter Palace. Archduke Ferdinand of Austria didn't think he was going to get shot. That started World War I. I mean, when you're at war, there's so many other players. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. Like when they're saying this might be World War III, Yara saying I want to go to the Czech Republic, even though it's safe right now and it might be safe forever. You don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, and that's my point. We didn't know that planes were going to crash into the Twin Towers that day. Nobody knew. And, like, New York City wasn't at war, and neither was Pennsylvania or the Pentagon. We didn't see that coming. Nobody saw the Japanese bombing Pearl Harbor. So is it that far of a stretch to think, like, we don't, yes, it's safe, but we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, especially when there's literal war going on in the neighboring countries right there. And it's infuriating to people. I'm with Yara. Yara should go. Yara should be so lucky that her husband cares that much about her that he's worried about her going there. And if it's as safe as everyone says, then there should be no issue with Yara having to wait an additional 2 weeks so her husband can go with her to make sure he's safe. Because imagine Jovi comes home from his job and there's no word from Yara or his kid.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what tomorrow's going to bring in war.
No. Yeah. And this, again, this is a week into the war. There was so much unknown. So much. I mean, that was a weird time. I can understand him being scared. I can understand her feeling helpless and like she needed to do something, anything. But if you don't have a plan, you need, you got to slow down a little bit. But yeah.
And at the end of the day, let's throw that all out the window. Jovi was only concerned, listen, I would be concerned if my husband or my wife and daughter went to Europe without me, regardless of war. You don't know what's going to happen. You ever see Taken? Shit happened.
Right, but like, she's from Europe, but I do understand.
I don't care. Like, I would not want my wife and kids to go to Europe alone without me. If everything was hunky-dory, I wouldn't. Like, I would want to be there with them, So especially when you pepper in like, oh, war. I need a cigarette. I'm gonna break my rule because I'm heated. I'm sorry. When you pepper in all that stuff with it, and these assholes like making like comments on like, you don't know what you're talking about, John. Like, at the end of the day, he's caring about his wife and child.
Yep.
What's so bad about that?
Nothing. And yeah, we get that Prague and the Ukraine are not right next to each other. But
what? Paris was right. Paris was great until the Nazis took over Paris. Remember that?
I mean, I wasn't alive, but yes.
Yeah, war works. Paris fell. They thought they were untouchable.
Right. And that was the concern. At this point, it was like they're just going to plow through Ukraine and then they're going to move on to Moldova and they're going to move on to all of these other places. It didn't seem like this was just going to be, a little nothing because it felt like it came out of nowhere. So being afraid even in Prague, doesn't feel strange to me at all. It didn't feel weird to me being afraid sitting in America, you know? You just didn't know because it's Russia. Are we allowed to talk about Russia? I don't know.
I don't. I mean, we are. So it is. I
Yeah.
mean, like they invaded Ukraine. Cody, huh? Give me 1 second.
Okay. I guess I also understand, you know, that she's got an independent spirit, but I don't think that that's what this was about. It wasn't about squashing any of that. And I do agree that, you know, your spouse always gets concerned when you're traveling alone. I just traveled several days across the country by myself. My husband was definitely nervous about it. You know, he definitely tracked me on my phone just to know where I was at. But I was, you know, I was fine with that. But yeah, you know, our spouses worry about us all the time. It's just a normal thing.
We weren't even in World War II until Pearl Harbor got bombed. Hi, the United States was neutral.
Mm-hmm.
We got bombed. We didn't see it coming. I mean, like, and these people to be like so like, oh, you don't know. I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
It's like, you know, and at the end of the day, it's just Jovi being concerned for his wife and child, and like everybody should be so lucky to have a husband like that. I don't think Jovi was out of line at all.
I don't either. Yeah.
So
we'll see what happens next. Do you think we're done with them?
Yeah, let's move on.
Libby and Andre?
Yeah, let's go to Libby and Andre.
Okay, so we're starting off at the dance studio. Libby's with her sister watching her niece dance. And they start talking about the mom's birthday.
Okay. I think that Libby, like, you know, it's just not the mom's birthday, it's the mom's 60th birthday. Like, that's like a big deal birthday, right? Like, you know, it's like oh, you're gonna miss mom's like 53rd birthday party, you know. No, it's like your 60th. It's like a big deal.
Is it?
I don't know. It's like a
I mean, I guess it's a big deal if you make it a big deal.
Usually you go like, you know, in tens, right? Like, you know.
I don't know.
You know, I would think it's, you know, I watch Housewives where they'll throw like a $100,000 party for like their, like, you know, 47th birthday. So like, you know, maybe I'm a little skewed in that because, you know, it is what it is. I think that, like, you know, a 60th birthday is a big deal. Like, you know, in my family, when we had, like, you know, 50th birthdays, 60th birthdays, 40th birthdays, it was a big deal. So I think that it being a 60th birthday is like a big deal.
Perfectly Imperfect agrees that it's a big deal. For me, I wouldn't care, but, you know, whatever. I think it just depends on how much you like to celebrate. If you like to celebrate, then it's a big deal. Oh my gosh, I can't get that off the screen.
I got it. Okay. You know, and the sisters were kind of cool, but
were they?
Yeah. Well, they were like kind of like on Andre's side, which I like. What is this person doing with this horn right now? It's driving me crazy. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? Is it like enough?
No, I don't hear a horn.
Oh my god!
Like a car horn, or like they've got like a flugel horn?
Like team of cars, like right outside my window. That's why. So you know, and I thought Libby. I guess we're gonna have a different, you know, opinion on this because I felt Libby was being a bit much, saying, well, I'm not going to put me and my husband through it. He has his green card interview and it might be revoked. Like, come on, Libby. Like,
well,
you know.
But they have had a tussle before, so I can understand why. And apparently, Charlie has been texting Libby nonstop, basically saying how terrible Andre is all the time. Like, how do you think Libby's going to respond to that? Oh, thanks, Charlie.
Yeah, but Andre was not innocent either.
Oh, I agree. Know? Andre's never innocent, but he's not always wrong either.
No. I think, you know, if I had to, like, you know, I would give Charlie being wrong more than Andre, but at the same time, you know, you know.
Yeah. I do like when Libby said, like, I'm all for forgive and forget, but not if the person hasn't changed and has no remorse. And I think that's her issue with Charlie, is that it's the same situation. He does not care that he did those things. And like later on, when Charlie's talking to his wife, we see that his wife doesn't even remember those things happening. So,
well, I know that Charlie didn't remember because he's like, when did I ever make a scene? He's like, what, the wedding? I'm like, Charlie, and that was my plus. I'm like, the wedding, the barbecue, the boat trip when they almost got like thrown overboard, the RV. I mean, it's all the time. I mean, and for Charlie, that's why I made that post. I'm like, come on, Charlie,
yeah.
Let's call a spade here. And Charlie, I would think, especially at the wedding with the speech.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I have to, if I had to pick a side on this one, I'd have to pick Andre's.
Sure. But according to Critolin, they're both a couple douche nozzles. So
well, that's true too. So I just thought and for me, I guess maybe in your family you don't throw big events for significant birthdays, but
not if I don't have to.
A 60th birthday is a big deal, how I see it. And they're going to a restaurant, and again, the sisters are being stupid. They're like, well, we're going to be at a public restaurant. I mean, what is Charlie going to do? Again, stupid, because that's never stopped him before.
Exactly.
But then I think at the same time, and I can't stand Libby's mom. I wish that nobody would go because she's a big old gay hater. But at the same
time, mom,
she's the mom. And Libby and Andre could just sit, at the end of the table, opposite wherever Charlie is, and the one time, as soon as Charlie says one thing or starts to act out, they get up and they leave. Problem solved.
Yeah, and do it nicely as well. Right. Have Libby do it nicely because Andre's not going to do it nicely.
Say, you know what, guys, we're gonna leave. Enjoy the rest of the dinner. We're done.
Yeah,
and that's it. Why Libby can't even trust her and Andre doing that?
I don't know. I guess I feel like she also could just take her mom out a different day to celebrate her birthday and not be like, it doesn't have to be about the event. We can have a separate time together where I show you I love you. But I don't know. But wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Oh, there was a part where Becky, when they were talking about the renewal of the green card, because Becky was like, why do you even need this? And Libby was kind of like, well, it's sort of random. Sometimes they make you do one, sometimes they don't. And Becky was like, basically that she hopes that he gets sent back. Hopefully. I mean, what? And then Libby's like, well, that was a stupid thing to say. Do you think I'm going to stick around if that happens? No, I'm going to go to Moldova with him, because they're saying that Andre is separating Libby from the family and they're isolating themselves.
They're building an island, they're building a wall, but they kind of are. But it's not unwarranted.
Yeah.
They have a right to feel that way, the family business and all that stuff. And obviously we've been watching Libby and Andre for how many seasons now, and the family never liked him, and they were always on the outs. And I mean, Andre didn't help things.
No.
In the beginning.
He's brusque.
He is brusque. And asking the Daddy Chuck for the $100,000, last season. And but
yeah, all indicators are that Andre is doing well financially now. He's taking care of his family. At least that's what it looks like. And I think that's almost the problem, is that Libby's no longer being coddled like a baby by her family. Instead, she's letting her husband do that. And that's, they don't like that. I don't, it's just it's a shift in the power dynamic in their weird family relationship. Can't have it. Can't have anybody. Everybody's got to stay in the correct pecking order. And Libby's not in the right order anymore with Andre there.
I think she's head bitch in charge now, though, because she's got, Daddy Chuck, and Andre loves, that Chuck loves Andre now. And now they're at the high end. And now the sisters are on the outs. Then you have Charlie and Megan. Megan's doing the foot porn, right? And saying, listen, I made $70,000 off this last year. 70,000, and it's more than what I ever made in the family business.
What did she do in the family business, I wonder?
not enough to make 70K. You know, and Charlie's taking the pictures of the feet, and he's like, you know, and good for them. Listen, if people want to watch my feet, I'll put them on OnlyFans for, you know, if you want to look at that.
Absolutely.
Good luck. For
Clean
70K.
feet, dirty feet, feet that climb on rocks.
But you know, then they're saying he's an alcoholic, and like I kind of, that's tricky because people call me an alcoholic, and I can get what Charlie's saying. Like I don't drink every day, you know, this, that, and the other, and that's tricky. It really is.
Well, I think we say alcoholic, but maybe a better word would be alcohol problem. Do you become a problem when you're drinking alcohol? Because in that case, you have an alcohol problem.
You might not be an alcoholic, but you have a problem. And like, you know, when you're drinking around people that you know you can't stand, it's only going to exacerbate, you know, feelings that you might have towards them, which we've seen over and over and over again with Charlie. And like, Charlie has been the instigator like the last like 4 or 5 times at it. He has been.
Yes. But that's not what he says. He says that Andre is the instigator, that he is pure as the driven snow. It's always Andre and Libby that are putting those labels on him, and he doesn't deserve them. He didn't get a fight with anybody. He's not going around behind anybody's back and making stories up with family members to make him look like a bad guy. All of this is Andre and Libby's doing.
You know, and in the beginning of the season, like, you know, the sisters were like, you know, on Andre, like we finally agree with Andre, and yeah, Charlie has a problem. But then like now the sisters flipped.
Yeah.
Again.
And it seems out of nowhere. But I guess it's just because they want to go to their mom's birthday party.
But again, I think it's because it is like you know, a milestone birthday party, which you may not agree with, but like, you know, turning 60, I think is like a big deal, you know. Like if it was her 63rd birthday, I wouldn't. Okay, it's her 63rd birthday. Who cares? But 60, you know, it's a new decade. Like so, I don't know. We'll see. Anything else you got with them?
Almost. There's just one more thing. So there was only really one scene with Andre, right? There's a scene where he's playing with his daughter, where Libby comes back from you know, talking to her sisters, and she's just trying to say, this is what my sister said. And Andre just says that he does not care, and that who wants to associate with a loser? That was the extent of what he had to say today, which I thought was funny, because I don't know if it was last week or the week before, where he said, you know, I don't want to deal with all these scumbags. And this week they're a loser. So Charlie's a loser. He just has a way with words.
By them missing this birthday party, it's gonna, you know, separate them more from the family and the family business or whatever. You know,
it might.
Oh, it will. It definitely will, because they're all going to be there, and then Libby and Andre are not going to be there, and then like Charlie is going to have like free reign to say how awful they are, and they're not going to be there to defend themselves, and that's what's going to happen. And then,
but Andre does not care, right? He's always wanted some space between Libby, and I don't think she minds that Andre minds Chuck. But, you know, when it comes to the sisters and Charlie, yeah, he's like, these people are nuts. They're a little bit nuts.
It's a great opportunity for Charlie to flip everybody on Andre, because they're not there to defend. You know,
very true. Yeah.
Mary had a little lamb.
It's like getting sent to Exile Island, right? You don't want to get sent to Exile Island. Everybody's making deals.
Got, like, you know, the nursery rhymes going, and her Christian horror movies, and the family business. So
absolutely, I
guess they don't need them. I don't know. I think it's foolish.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I would have to go there if it were me and Cody. If me and Cody were Libby and Andre, I would have to go there to make sure like that Charlie wasn't flipping my whole family against me. Like, you need someone there in your corner. And at this point, the whole family, the sisters flipped on them again. You know, who's going to be defending Libby and Andre when they're not there? No one.
You're right. No, I mean, unless Chuck wouldn't be at the birthday party, but
he might be.
Really? Isn't that his ex-wife?
Yeah, but, you know, weren't they together at the barbecue, or they were at some event all together?
They were at something. I don't remember what it was, but they were at something.
So, and we'll see.
Yeah. Andre thinks he's the boss of everyone, and he thinks he knows everything. He's an asshole. I mean, I don't disagree with that at all.
Neither. We stay here right now. We screw Chuck, Charlie and Megan.
They're douchebags. They ruined everything.
Losers, douchebags. I have Big Papa Chuck now. We are top red winners in family. So, I feel like Libby and Andre kind of have Chuck wrapped around the fingers. And if they wanted to keep that power, they should probably go to the party. But, I don't know. I keep waiting for them to get their own spinoff because, they're trying their asses.
I mean, I'd probably watch if they had a spinoff. At least one episode. Probably.
Yeah, that's how much I gave the family Chantel. So I guess I would give them one episode too. Although
in the beginning,
the family Chantel now is pretty with divorce and everything going on. But
yeah.
All right, let's bring it home. Angela and Michael. So Angela is going to pay Michael a surprise visit.
Yes.
In Nigeria. This is in the midst of Michael starting his own IG account, which Usman told him to. And now Michael's demanding $5,000 to take it down. According to Angela's attorneys, Michael's visa can be approved at any second. And she needs to go there to really see what's going on with him and surprise him.
Absolutely. Yep. She's packing up for the trip. And while she's packing, Michael is blowing up her phone, continuing to try to extort money out of Angela about taking down the IG. Like, he hasn't stopped. It wasn't like one time that he said this. He's continuously barraging her with messages demanding money to take down the IG, which is crazy to me. And Angela just wants to know, like, I need to see it with my own eyes. Is this real? Am I being hoodwinked? So I'm going to surprise him so he doesn't have time to delete anything off of his phone. I'm going to show up and I'm going to find out what's really going on. Because I need to know. I need to know, with his visa being approved at any moment, is this real?
Mm-hmm. And Angela enlists her new friend Renee that she met at the airport because they were passing each other by. They were passing each other by, and according to Renee, Angela smelled smoke on her. So Renee paid off a bathroom attendant in the airport to look the other way so Angela and Renee could rip butts together in the airport bathroom.
Wow. I don't know how I glossed through that scene.
Did you miss that?
I mean, I have a vague recollection, so I clearly watched it, but not with my brain turned on.
They had Renee on the confessional, and they were asking how Renee had met Angela, and Renee had said, "I've known Angela for almost a year," and that was the story how they met. I
must have decided she was a throwaway character that I didn't need to pay that much attention to, but she did make me laugh at one point when Angela was kind of saying what her plan and her plot was. Renee was like, "I like it." Like, she was down to clown. She wants to be in the middle of whatever nonsense happens.
Angela didn't tell Renee that their trip was a surprise. So Renee had said to Angela, "So we're going there." She doesn't know we're coming. And Angela's like, "Yep." And Renee's like, "Okay, I'm down." And, me and Cody met Renee in Vegas for Angela's birthday. So she is a character. So yeah, so Angela also has the book of Nigerian
Yes.
wedding or spousal
Yeah.
property laws.
Marriage and matrimonial law. Yes.
Yeah, it's in my thumbnail. You can see it. And Angela's saying, "Listen, we're married under Nigerian law, and everything that is his is half mine."
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
car, the whatever. Well, we're gonna see more of that Jay Freak in next week's episode, because you see, I think they replay it, right? Because you see Angela going towards the car
Yes.
in the previews for next week, right before he cheats.
Right. Yeah. It's her car though, right? Everything is hers.
Right. Well, yes, and I believe she gave Michael the money to pay for the car. Like, Angela's been giving Michael money for everything because she wants him to be good because that's her husband, and she doesn't want to see him, in a bad spot. So, I'm gonna get my notes. Oh, also, this is the first time in 2 years that she's seen Michael, right? That
Right.
it's the first time after her weight loss surgery. She's dropped over 100 pounds since the last time, they've seen each other in person. And,
And he's had nothing nice to say about that. And so she just needs to know. She needs to know. How does he feel?
Ange has the rights of Michael's belongings due to the Nigerian book, is what I wrote my last note. Yeah, and Angela, so I'm sure next week is going to be a fun one.
It is. It is. I do like.
Go ahead, Maria, please, because I'm kind of tongue-tied when I talk about her a little bit. Because go ahead.
Yeah, I like, she said she's got mixed feelings. She's excited to see her husband, right? Because I think she really wants this to all be okay because she really does love him. But then the other part of her is just tired of his shenanigans. She's not sleeping well. He's blowing up her phone and she's just worried that he does not care about her. And so, this is going to be a trip that's going to pretty much decide the fate of their relationship, probably. We'll find out.
We will. What time is it?
I liked her blinged out mask on the plane, and then she got that blinged hat from Renee. She's gonna be blingy.
Wait, what did you say? Come on, John. She won't let the guy work because she's jealous and she can't. Listen, Angela has her reasons for feeling the way that she does. And
he did the BJ for real.
You're gonna see it play out in the season. But she has every right to feel the way she does, and she really done a lot for him. And for him to extort $5,000 because Usman said, "Hey, you need an IG," and get away from her, and and listen. Maybe that's a conversation you could have with Angela directly. Like, Ange, I want to have my own IG or whatever. But look at men on the show. And again, I hate to defer back to Colt, but look at what some women do to get the attention of men, that are on the show. I mean, for Christ's sakes. Not Superfriend Kim married a convicted cop killer because she saw him on TV. So if people go to those extremes, and you're on TV on the biggest TV show, on cable on Sundays, and you've been on for a while, and I'm not saying everything Angela does is right,
I don't think she would say that either. She would just say she had her reasons in the
Angela would say the same about me, and we're a family, and even when we're in person, I'm like, Ange. She's like, I know, and she's like, John, and I'm like, I know. It's like, not every, but when you're in love, and all I can say about Angela is that Angela loves hard. She loves very hard,
Yes.
and she will honestly give the shirt off her back to you. And that's how good of a person she is. And we all make mistakes, and no one's perfect.
Right.
But at the end of the day, Angela just wants to be loved like anybody else does, and she wants to feel like she's protected, and she doesn't want to have to worry about a man doing her dirty, which I don't think anybody wants to. So
no, I agree. Yeah, she needs to know if she can trust him. She needs to know what he's up to because he has been up to shenanigans, demanding money. She hasn't seen him in 2 years. There's a lot of reasons to
not
be
a good look. Like, I haven't seen you in 2 years, and now you're demanding $5,000 to take an IG account down.
Yeah.
On top of all the other stuff that she's already given him. So I would be pissed the fuck off too if I were her. And like if Cody was trying to extort me, like no. So I don't see why people can't understand Angela being mad at that, especially when you haven't seen each other in 2 years. You started an Instagram account. She has a feeling in her gut, right, that there's something wrong going on. And she flies there, to go there and see what's up. And most people probably wouldn't even do that. Because, sometimes you got to catch somebody off guard, right? To see, like, cause like she said, like, if I told him that I was coming, he'd have plenty of time to delete everything off his phone to get rid of all the evidence,
Yep.
And I know I've shown up at places unannounced before because I wanted to.
Me too.
Right? Like, really? Who hasn't? Like, when
right?
when you think like, there's game afoot.
Yes. Why are you canceling this date with me?
Let's
see what you're up to.
Come on, we're not all nuns and priests here, right? No. It's people. So sometimes the best thing to do is catch somebody off guard. So I really can't. I know people say, "Oh, John, you'll see anything to protect Angela," and blah blah blah. But like, it's truth. Like, she's put a lot of emotion and heart and money into this relationship. Let's not forget, like, Angela's got 6 grandkids that she helps take care of, and 2 daughters, and it's just not. She's just not alone. It's like some fool, some like lady by herself giving this money, this man money. She's got like a big giant family that she also has to take care of. So she has to, she's a smart woman, Angela. Don't ever think she's not smart. She is smart, and maybe the way she goes about things are like wrong at times, but when you're pressed against the wall, you got to act a certain way sometimes. So
yeah. It's a hard relationship with 2 years of gap in there, since she's seen him, and just how long this has been going on. It's been years and years and years and years, And then Usman jumping in and causing chaos in their relationship.
But by him saying he wants to be like the new Angela and Michael, he said that point blank. He wants him and Kim to be like the new Michael and Angela, and then he's like off there, like derailing Usman to try to get him, like, him and Angela screwed up, so him and Kim can take the crown. I mean, if Angela's really been the face of 90 Day for the last few seasons. Let's not kid ourselves. Like Danielle was. I think Danielle passed the crown to Angela. Because I think it's the face of the show. I think Danielle in the beginning, and I think Angela like the last few years, right? Like, I know I got really involved because of Danielle. Wait, who?
I said it depends on the season. Some seasons it's Larissa.
Oh yeah, Larissa too. Larissa and Cole.
Jasmine, that one season. Jasmine, I was.
No. I just no. Jasmine.
That season. Well, Angela wasn't on that season.
Jasmine and Gino. That Jasmine.
Yeah, that's all we talked about that season was them and all their shenanigans.
Because they were all on a hooker site.
I'm just saying there was lots
I
to
mean,
talk
do you know him with her on the hooker sites? Like he did, like was it sugar babies, all that? Like, no, I would not even put Jasmine anywhere near that category.
She's hilarious. I'm not saying that she was. I'm saying that season. I think she was the face that particular season.
I'm talking about like longevity wise. Like,
Longevity,
when
okay.
people think of 90 Day Fiance, they don't think Jasmine and the sugar babies.
No, probably not. No.
I think 90 Day Fiance. I think like Pow. I think Danielle. I think Lauren, Angela, Larissa, Chantel, Nicole. Like those type of people. Like
Yeah,
that kept
I
it
think
going.
Larissa.
Not Jasmine. The Jasmine is not even. She's all the way over there. So so I don't know. But it's going to be an interesting season. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to do an after show because it's already 11. But we will do one tomorrow night for
Sister Wives.
Sister Wives because I've had a long day. I've been up since 7. I only had a few hours sleep. So hey Paige, she had the right to do what she did. I just hope the trip gives her some closure, whether it be positive or negative, so she can move forward. I agree. No after show tonight. I actually have to watch Sister Wives now and eat dinner. So that I'm ready for tomorrow night. And tomorrow night we'll do an after show after Sister Wives. And if you want to talk about this stuff on the after show tomorrow night, we can.
Sure.
So I'm gonna call it a night. This has been fun. Mostly fun. I know we got heated when it came to Jovi and Yara.
I mean, it was that kind of a show though. There was some emotions, just little hot pockets of emotion on this episode, but
yeah, it was like, it balanced out.
Yeah.
So all in all, I said there was a lot to unpack. I knew this was going to run long. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed last night's episode, and hopefully, maybe, just give you a visual. Jenny and Sumit missionary right now. A little more missionary.
Probably. But maybe just throw one foot a little bit higher.
Real barrel, Maria, you think?
No, never. I think that's never going to happen.
Reverse cowgirl?
That might. It's not that fun. It's just not that fun. I'm sorry, it's not that fun.
I wanted to give you a nice visual before we left. So we always have to bring it full circle. You know how this show works. So everybody have a wonderful night. We'll see you tomorrow night at 9 for Sister Wives, and we'll see you then.
Yes.
Much love, guys.
Bye.
Bye.